Good evening, it's Michael here from Michael's Card Art. Sorry, I was smiling at something that my little office assistant Zorro, the Chihuahua, he looked at me when I asked. I told him to move away. He just looked up and do you realise who you're talking to? He's going to sleep, otherwise I'd pick him up and put him on the on screen. Hey, now today is, this video is going to be a short one, I'm sensing, but it's about vellum and vellum in card craft. And it's one of those products that doesn't get a lot of airplay. People are a little bit anxious about using it, and that's possibly because it is quite a delicate product. Let me show you what a piece of vellum looks like. And in the older days, apparently vellum was made out of, oh, here's a sheet here I had for you. Vellum was made out of sheep stomach linings, I believe. And it was a product that you could write with. It was designed to be written on, and or it allowed you to make communications on it, whether it was printed, whether it was etched into it. I'm not fully sure au fait with that. However, it's now in a paper format or a plastic format. I'm not sure what it's even made of, but it is a fabulous product to have in your craft stash, because you can use it in so many different ways. It can be used to create a very, I suppose, a delicate overlay. And it adds, as part of that delicate overlay, it adds a soft, translucent layer to the design. I'm going to show you as an example. So this is a map of, I'm supposing, New York. But with a piece of vellum over the top of it, it doesn't have quite the same effect or same impact, because that vellum makes or takes away some of that translucence. And by layering, what you could do, if you wanted to, is you could emboss this sheet of vellum to create another layer. And I'll give you an example of that, and it's probably not relevant for this image, but what I've done here is I've embossed this piece of vellum, and I've put it through with this embossing folder, as you can see here. And when you emboss vellum, you do put it under quite a bit of stress. But if we were to layer, just take this example further, by layering, and what you're doing is you're really just using the background that you had there as a bit of color and to add some texture and effect to the project. And by embossing it, you have brought in another element and another layer to your card. And so you could gently color these and put this over this background, and you've created a very soft, translucent, and a different approach to a card design. And the other thing is you can use it for creating windows. So for example, if this was a building, you could create a window in the building, and by putting a sheet of vellum over it and maybe coloring it red or yellow, it shows it could be the drapes in that particular window. And also you can use it in shaker cards, where you're using a piece of vellum cut out, and it sits behind an actual window, if you like, and you can shake or fill it up with various coloured embellishments, and that window of vellum acts like a protector. It keeps everything contained. So look, vellum, it's one of those things that you can use and get a lot of impact from. So today what we're going to do is, I made this card just recently, and it was on the back of, oh gosh, the inspiration. First of all, I made this box. It was a collapsing box. I've made a couple of these in the past, but I really liked the oriental design that we got from that box, if you like. The outside of the box is the part that I really like, and I just thought this looked like an oriental tea chest. Now that's not vellum, actually. Or is it vellum? No, it's cardstock. I embossed this piece of white cardstock and gave these colors applied these colours. And I really liked it as a result because it reminded me of some sort of Oriental Mandarin style or Cantonese style travel trunk, if you like. So then I took the idea of this fun fold, if you like, and I saw it as a room divider. And I thought a sheet of vellum over this, embossed and coloured, might look very nice. And here we've got a planter filled with some climbing pansies, if pansies do climb that high, but anyway, climbing pansies. And so this here could effectively be a room divider that sits like this, if you like, or it could even sit coming to the fore where the side panels are in the background, and this panel here, I'm just going to use my trusty prop, and you can see here, we've got have I just removed the, no, it's still there. And so you've got the center coming to the fore and then these panels on the side going to the back, as an example. So there's many ways to present this, but the point of focus of today's video is the vellum panels that I've got here. So I'm going to show you how I colored those, and to minimize extra stress on the vellum. Now, I spoke about the vellum being under quite a bit of stress when you do emboss it, and let me just illustrate some of that stress. So these white areas that you can see here on the vellum, that's where the stress has been really high. And in some cases, if I hold that up close to you, can you see that hole that's developing there? So you do need to make sure that you protect it as much as you can as you emboss it, and the more times you emboss it, you're going to be increasing the number of little holes that you'll see in the vellum. And in this one here, I'm not ashamed to admit, I did overstretch, and I've torn some of these, but look, crafter's license, and look, I've hidden them all, I can't even find them. So there you go. One thing with this card, I had a real problem with the gold embossing powder. I wanted to just colour the stamens, but we got a little bit more than the stamens. Oh, here's that hole that I was talking about, where the vellum has kind of like lifted. So we'll show you a couple of techniques to minimize that there. So today's, it's not really about making a card, it's more about how to emboss, color, and maintain the integrity of the shape of your initial embossing whilst you do the coloring. So we're going to go through that part of the process, because once you've colored up this piece of vellum, you've got a very nice element here that you can put into a panel card. You can put it as the main focus of the card if you wanted to, and you might even find a really nice background that will support this. But today is about coloring and getting this card, this piece of vellum, ready for your next project. So without further ado, I've grabbed the vellum, and what I've done is I put it into an embossing folder like so. Now, because of the nature of vellum, when some people go to emboss on their cardstock, they will spray the cardstock once it's ready to be embossed. Now, the reason they spray that with a fine mist of water, it's because you're releasing releasing the tension in the paper fibers a little bit, and so that enables them to move to the various shapes of the embossing folder better. It doesn't happen always, but you do get a noticeable improvement in the actual shape when you spray it with moisture. Do not try that spraying of moisture on vellum, because you will weaken the structure of this immensely, and it'll start falling apart on you. So keep moisture right away from this, or as much away as from this as possible. Okay, so we've embossed it, just the same procedure. Put it into the sandwich die press, and then run your embossing folder through with the curved side through the panel, die and cut machine, and you'll have this look and feel. Now for this, I'm recommending we grab a small piece of blue tack. Now, and I'm going to put that blue tack into the corners of the vellum, because what I'm going to be doing is giving this quite a vigorous workout as I colour it. Now, I won't use the same colours that I've done for that, I called it an Asian or Oriental room divider because of the brilliant red that I used in it. What I'm going to do is, I don't know, possibly, what is this flower? Layered florals. It doesn't say what flowers it is, but it looks a bit like a magnolia, possibly. Well, let's just get into it. And now I'm using a couple of things here. I'm using a wide a blending brush that's got a big footprint, and I find that that's easier on your objects within them that have been embossed. The other thing I recommend you get some things where you can, brushes where you can be more specific with your application of colour. These are online. They're not a Stampin' Up! Product, and you can see that they have seen better days. So I've got a couple of those. And the other thing you might find helpful, I'm just grabbing it. So these big footprint brushes also have little footprints, and these can be very, or can be invaluable when it comes to small, fine detail as we work through that. So depending on how you want to do it. But what I'd like to do, I think, is give our piece a nice background color, and that could be a brownish tinge, it could be a yellow tinge, a curry color. Anyway, so I don't know yet, but we'll just see how we go. And and the last thing I wanted to say was the reason we're doing the colouring inside the embossing folder is because, and you'll notice we're doing it on the raised side. So that's the, yes, that's the side that gives it that shape, it pushes up. And this side is where the shape of the vellum pushes up into the indented picture, corresponding picture. So that's why you get the raised surface. So I want to colour it in here because it's got this support underneath it. So what I'm going to do first and foremost is I'm going to grab a brush that I can go around here and get these highlighted areas done. But before I even do that, I think it might be worthwhile getting some colour into these smaller flowers. Now, I think what I need to do, give them quite a intense colour, because after I've coloured them, I've got to go and do the background. So I'm doing these petals first. I just think because I think let me just think about this. I'll show you what I mean. I can't explain it, but I just think this is going to be a better way getting the colour on these. So I'm going to start in the centre and see how we're bringing out that colour to each of the petals. Now, it doesn't have to be, that's good though. So that's a good, fine colour placement. Okay, how does that look? Do I need to bring that? You can see that there. It's come up very nicely on the. Okay, I'm just putting the colour on the brush and then removing a little bit of it. I just feel more comfortable doing it that way than going straight onto the vellum. Now, I'm going to go ahead and colour all of these petals in this Cajun red. It's kind of like a rusty red, if you like. I'll go ahead and do those, and once I've got those done, I'll come back to you. Now, I've got those small petal flowers done in red. I'm going to just go through and touch up these green ones, and I'm going to use a very fine brush for that. And where is it? Oh, so possibly this one, a little one here. And I'm just going to do a mossy green, a mossy meadow in that for those smaller leaves. So let's just get some ink on the brush. There we go. And just dispense with a little bit there, and just find ourselves a couple of leaves. There we go. There's another one here. And here. So it's just giving them a little bit of colour. Here we go. Now, and because you're colouring it on the actual shape that is sitting underneath it, you're not impacting on the integrity of the emboss, if you like. Okay, there we go, there's another one. And it's just to give that a bit more of a natural look to the scene. All right, now I've made an assumption that these are kind of like a magnolia, so we just want a very light, ooh, I'm going to say a papaya look, coloured. Or do we want yellow? No, I think the papaya. Here we go. So this one here, pale papaya. And I'm going to do that two colours. We'll have the centre is going to be here, and I'll make the darker one, the darker part of the flower. I'll take that and make that the peach pie. So let's just see what they look like together. We need to do a bit of a swatch. Just grab some white cardstock. Here we go. So let's just get two brushes and just see what we've got here. This one is the peach pie. Now I'm thinking that needs to be that little slightly darker, and this one is the lighter. Yes, is it much darker? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I need to go with pumpkin pie. Let's see this. And as I'm doing this, I'm looking back over at the red, and I'm thinking, I'm not even sure I like that anymore. Which one was this one? All right, they're probably the two colours I'm going to use. What would have used, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with the brown. Yes, I'm going to go with the brown. Oh, and I might use. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with a brown and a papaya. So pumpkin pie, that goes back. And the brown I'm going to use will be soft suede. See how we go. Alright, let's just, here's our brown. And the soft suede. I don't always do samples, but yes, I like that. And it'll go nicely with the red, I think. Alright, so what I'm going to do is the brown will go first in here. Sorry, no, the pecan, the pale papaya will go first, to the mains. There we go. And then I'm going to finish off with brown. And so just finding those particular petals on the outer edge of the magnolia, and they will be your brown leaves. So it might even be easier to start on the outer leaves. And I'm just going in a circular motion, and what I'm trying to do is see these border lines that are happening? I'm trying to get those to be pronounced on all of them, on all of the petals of that set, if you like. And I think that's all of them there. So let's just bring that colour now all together. And you've got your brown on the outer, and you've got your orange in the inner, like so. And there it is. That looks good. Take it up to those leaves, and just maybe settling in there. And then the brown is on the outer. That's good. Okay, now I'm going to continue with those, and I'll let you get on with yours, and then we'll reconvene. I'll see you shortly. Now, I thought I was watching the video to see that it was playing, but anyway, what I've done is I've got a dark pink, and I've just polished through pink into the background. So just in circular motions. In this case, it was the Rococo Rose. And I'm just touching the background there, so there's that nice subtle pink background. Here we go, like so. There we go. And now this rubbing, yes, it does have an impact on the vellum, so you've got to be careful, and by keeping it in the embossing folder as you're colouring certainly helps. It helps by removing some of that stress on the vellum. Now, so the question is this: how do I highlight? What will I highlight these with? And maybe it is as simple as this. See what it looks like. And we just really are looking to highlight. Oh yes, I think that's it. Look at those nice veins in the floral. That's good. And see, by doing it, colouring it in the embossing folder, you are, as you work down onto the vellum, and this would apply also with cardstock, as you press down on it, you're getting like another emboss, or just giving you a bit more outline in these here. Now, just go over these, and I'll be straight back. I might just use the cherry cobbler just on some random, on some of the random flowers, and let's see what it looks like. Okay, let's just put that away. So not on all of them. I just want to bring some of that colour to the fore. Okay. All right, here's one. Let's just see what. Oh. That's good. So we'll keep some of these in the nice bright red, and some of them just in the paler. Hey, look at that. That's good. There we go. All right. Right, and then this is where some of the oh, sorry, I've just lost my train of thought. This is where you decide whether you're going to make this background a darker or a lighter colour. Now, let's just remove Oh, what's happened? Now what I'm going to do is just remove, I thought the camera had broken down, stopped again. And I'm just going to remove this and show you what it looks like now. There, it's as simple as that. It's quite a light background. You can see there's, on the camera here, it looks like I've got a bunch of lettuces, but you can see here the what that would look good on. I'm just going to bring out some beige cardstock, and you can start to see how the colours come up on the lighter cardstocks. And where's another? Don't have another one available. But I'm just going to do one more thing though, because I just want something a little richer in the background. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this soft suede that we used for the outer petals. I'm going to take that into the background more. Now I need one of these brushes. Actually, I'll get one of these ones. Right, so just give it a good coat of colour. Now let's just see if we can get that into the, you may need to go over your florals again. So just picking up the colour and then applying it into the background there. Just give it a bit of a touch after I've got it out of the ink. There we go, and bringing it, oh, now see what I'm doing? I'm doing this colour, I'm pressing down on this without the embossing folder. I'm glad I did that, not because it's good for my emboss, but it gives you an example of what we should be trying to avoid. Now let's take this back here. Right, and reposition it back onto our embossing folder. There we go, like so. And let's just go back over those brown areas that we had just done there. So just to make sure, and see how the colour is, it just goes on better when it's got that nice ridged surface underneath. And I think any of the browns in Cardcraft are great, because what they do is they add a really nice touch of contrast. Okay, I love it already. Look at this, very nice. And oh, it's okay, so you can see the colour has come out of a lot of the floral blossoms. Now the paper, the vellum, will be getting very, and I'm just going to go over those. There we go. All right, look at them, nice and sharp edges. It's excellent. I don't think there is any more we can do to that other than to, let me just see, I'll take that off there. Now I think that is a really nice piece of coloured vellum, very, nice. And let's just put it back on here. Look at that, it has a nice retro look about it. It's rich, it's colourful. You could use this on the background of a card. You could put it into a screen, like a room screen, as we've done there. It's just a very, nice element to use on any card project. I don't, now, a couple of things here to note. That's as much as I really needed to share with you. And what I did want to just point out, make sure that your cutting blade is sharp, sharp, sharp when you go to cut vellum, and be slow and methodical with your cutting. If you do see some ridges that, see here, you might, let's say you were cutting through there, be very careful, and I would suggest that you find another place to put your cut mark, because you don't want that to tear inadvertently on you and ruin the piece. Okay, as I said, you could place that into any object. Just be careful how you're cutting it, and when you're gluing it. So let's say we've got our vellum. Now, let me see, I don't have one here, but this is what you need to do. When you gluing vellum, you don't want to necessarily get wet glue all over the back of this at all. What you need to do is, I would recommend a cotton bud. Place your glue like so, and get the glue onto your cotton bud and gently roll it onto the vellum on the very, very edge of it. So you're going like this, and you can barely see the vellum going down. Then that will be placed onto the element that is required gluing, like so. Okay, you would just do that, and that will adhere very nicely, and it won't show wet marks or anything like that. If you use, try to use, what is it called, two-sided tape. If you try to use two-sided tape, you're going to get, I'll show you what I mean. You're going to get this. See those little ridges there? Can you see that? Did that come down? Here, let's try this. See that? Yes, if you do that with vellum, you're going to end up with those showing through, so avoid that as well. And the other thing, glue dots. If you try to put your vellum down with glue dots, that moisture, see, like this is not a glue dot as such, it's a blue tack, but if you put a glue dot down, that moisture of the glue dot will show through the vellum. So avoid glue dots. It's got to be, from what my experience is, the only way is to put the sheerest amount of glue onto your cotton bud, and then run that either across the element that you're going to attach it to, or across the very edge of the vellum. Well, there you go, creating a background with vellum and an embossed folder. I hope you got something out of that, and I hope you found that interesting. And most of all, I hope to see you next time on Michael's Card Art. Thank you very much, and take care. Bye for now.